Alright, so today we are gonna make this kind of like distortion effect for your website, and this is a live effect. It reacts to your mouse, it follows your cursor, and you can add this to your framing site or just like regular HTML site. And yeah, you don't have to know anything about shader programming, and we are gonna use this tool called Mixly.app for this. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna start by adjusting the background ray. So I've selected the scene and I'm gonna make it black. And then I'm gonna place the character model over here, character picture. And now at first it's gonna be like stretched if we scale this, and we want to have a little bit of a responsive design already. So if I click here on the image, that I can change the like the fitting properties. I'm gonna use the X and Y, and now it means that it's gonna like not stretch. Finally, I'm gonna have a basic layout. We want to have 0 pixels from top, 0 pixel from right, and then 0 pixel from the bottom. So now we should have a basic responsive design. It reacts, it looks fine if I have different color scales, or maybe actually not. I'll probably want to adjust the pivot a little bit more, like so. Now it should be fine. Yeah. Now let's get to the interesting part. So we are gonna have to do some kind of a distortion on the whole image. We have this adjustment layers. So if I place an adjustment layer, it's basically gonna have an effect on all the pictures below it. I'll already place a brush layer as well, just to demonstrate something. It's gonna be there, over there, and this is gonna be the woman, and we have a brush. And now we have the distortion layer over here. I'm gonna rename this to Distort. We're gonna use the Distort image option. And this is basically distorting every pixel below it, and it's gonna use an image for it. So we have an image slot over here, and we have to put something there. And as a demonstration, I can put something like this like colorful texture over here. You can already see something happening, but if I kind of increase the values quite a bit, maybe that's a little bit too much, you can see that it's affecting everything below it. So we can have this like almost like a glass-like effect over here. But that's not what we are gonna do today. I'm gonna clear this one and maybe put that back to 1. We actually want to use this brush to make the visual look. So I'm gonna move the brush a little bit like hidden under the woman, and then I'm gonna make this special thing called feedback loop. The idea is that we have like a second layer hidden over here, and it's gonna cover all the pictures on the screen. And I'm gonna call this feedback, and I'm gonna put it over here in the beginning. And then this is again expecting to have some kind of image. I can actually demonstrate it again. I'll put maybe some random text over there. So you can see it's below the woman, and then there's the brush layer. But instead of having that kind of like normal texture, Mixly allows you to have any other layer in any image slot. So it means that I can actually take the brush layer and put it back on the layer above it. So what it actually does is that it takes the result from the brush layer. So once this is rendered, it takes it back again to the beginning. And since it's like one frame behind, you get this like feedback loop. And it means that you can have this kind of like remaining effect. So it's basically storing the picture value for later use. And that's it. But as you can see, it kind of gets, the image gets full. So you probably want to kind of like have some kind of fading effect. And you can do it simply by having the opacity layer. So how visible the layer is a little bit lower. So it's kind of fading out the values over time. We had the distortion layer. If you remember, we had the texture previously, but now we can use the feedback layer or the brush layer as an input for the distortion. So if I put the woman back on, and then I just drag and drop the result from the brush layer into the distortion texture, you get this effect. It's kind of starting to already look like the thing that we actually want to have. Maybe I can increase the distortion values a little bit. A little bit more clear. So you have this almost like water-like effect coming already. But the problem is that we have this like the layer is actually visible partly behind the woman, and we don't want to do that. And that's why we have this special grouping tool called group. And it basically does so that you can group layers into it. So I'm gonna put the feedback and then the brush group, and I'm gonna call this vector. So it's still exactly the same thing. You can see it behind it. But now I can actually click this I button. So I'm gonna hide it. So you probably need, okay, but you actually hit the image. But it's actually doing the same rendering behind the scenes, but it's not just not showing it to the user. So we are basically using this one special layer as a data for some other layer. And that's the basic premise or idea behind this. And since we want to have the mouse always following the mouse position, for example, if I now go to the play mode, so this is like the preview mode, it's not gonna do anything. I have to track it into the editor to actually see how it looks. But we probably want to have this to follow the mouse position. So I have the brush selected, and I go to layout, and we have an option to follow the position of your cursor. So now if I go to the play mode, I can see it that it's following the mouse even not when not in the editor mode. All right, so that's already something pretty close to the end result. But I actually want to have something that kind of distorting the image along the movement of my mouse. So it's not just doing some distortion from always the same direction. I want it to follow the movement of my mouse. I'm gonna go to the brush layer. We can see it again. And now I'm gonna add this like special component called velocity to color, and it's gonna look a little bit weird at first. You can see that it has this super funky colors, and that's fine. It's not supposed to be something that you see or kind of something that is visible to the user. Usually this is just basically a way to output some data on the screen. It's not normal color value, it's a vector. So it's basically describing where am I moving my mouse. So if I'm moving it from left to right, it's gonna be red. And if I move it from up to down, it means that it's going to be green. And so that's basically the y-axis. So yeah, now if we check out how it looks on the screen, we can see that it's looking quite a bit different than the original one. So we're actually following the direction of the movement. We can make this like swirling effect. So it's much I think like natural looking, even though it's quite strong at the moment. Let's put it back to 1. So yeah, this already works, but we can do more, and you can quickly try out different kind of looks in Mixly. So you don't have to write this like shader course and spend multiple nights on doing some effect and just come up to the conclusion that, okay, this is not what I want. You can experiment really quickly. And today I'm gonna use this or demonstrate this a little bit with this split channel effect. I'm gonna hide the previous distortion effect, so now it's disabled, so we can see what this layer does. So again, this is on the adjustment layer, so it's gonna affect all the pixels below it. And as you can see, if I increase the value quite a bit, you can see that it's kind of like splitting the RPG channels. So it looks like this kind of like lens distortion effect that you see sometimes on bad lenses or out of focus pictures. And what's interesting bit about this is that it has this direction value, but it's just like this wheel thing that you can change. But the special thing about Mixly is that you can actually input values or generate values quite freely. It doesn't mean that you just use keyframes or the wheels. You can click most of the parameters on most of the components that we offer. And if you click that, you can see that there's actually a texture option. So if you open that, now you have a slot where you can put things. So we basically do the same thing that we did for distortion layer, but this time around, since we had the vector field, so it's a direction, we can just drag and drop it over there. And we can see that it's affecting the screen similar to the distortion effect, but it's actually doing the RPG effect on it as well. So you get this like super cool splitting effect, maybe a little bit strong, reduce it a little bit, or maybe make even the brush a little bit smaller, like so, and you actually have this pretty cool effect coming. And of course you can combine the both. You can have distortion and then also the split channel, and they're gonna kind of work together to do the effect. So yeah, that was a really quick way to kind of make this kind of thing. You can fine tune, you can do lots of different things. Again, you can experiment quite a bit. For example, I could, since I have the data layer, I can make like new adjustment layers there. So if I show this again, you can see it. I have an adjustment layer and I'm actually putting into the vector group. And I can do things over here as well. So for example, I put this pixelation effect and I can change the size, and you have like this huge pixel. But now if I look at the result, it's gonna look quite a bit different than the original one. Yep. So this is maybe for something like, I don't know, a little bit more like a digital look. Maybe you have some kind of, I don't know, crypto website or whatever where this might look a little bit better. But you can experiment, you can try out things, and you can do those really fast. You can kind of combine effects as you like and try out different looks, and that's, I think, is the biggest power of Mixly in general. It's much faster than doing manual shader coding. All right, so that's how you make the effect, but how do you actually get it on your website? And today I'm gonna demonstrate how to get this into Framer. So Framer is quite popular on the web design world, so it's pretty good target to get. So to export the project, I just go to the export dialog, and then I click the publish. I already actually had it published, and copy the Framer component, and then go to the Framer, and I'm gonna make a new custom code component. Be called brush, and then I select all, paste it here, hit save, and it should show up on the right side. You can try it out over here. It should be live. But if you go to the menu, you can see that there's the Mixly canvas element, and you can just drag and drop it over in the project. Maybe I'll move it a little bit over here. Once you have the project done, you can just click the publish button, and it should be updating. You should be able to see your effect on your website. It should be interactive, and so on. So yeah, that's it. It's a published project. I got it from Mixly into Framer in a few minutes, and basically you got the power of shaders without knowing anything about shaders. You can use it. You can build quite a bit of like different kind of effects, and this is just one example. You can do tons with it already. You can kind of combine effects and do these like interactions and build whatever you want. And Mixly is not just like a template engine. You can use it for animation, motion design. You can do interactive things. There's lots of stuff that you can already do with it. And join our Discord server, and you can give your feedback and kind of help us build the tool into something that you want. And for example, if you have some ideas what you want to kind of do, maybe you have seen something in After Effects or something like that, or some other like what's my winning website, and you want to do that, just join the server and let us know. I'll probably try to make it happen if it's doable, and yeah, have fun, try it out. It's free. Let's go. Let's build.